everyone is missing this. While millions of Malaysians are packing their bags dreaming about America, and thousands of Americans are quietly booking one-way tickets to Kuala Lumpur, both groups think the other side has it better. And after breaking down the real numbers, the real lifestyle, the real cost of just existing in both countries, I can tell you with full confidence, someone is making a very expensive mistake. Stay until the end, because the answer is going to surprise you in a way you genuinely did not see coming. If you are watching this right now, I need a small favor from you. My friend from Johor Bahru told me straight to my face that comparison videos like this one never get traction unless you are already famous. He said, "Nobody cares." I want to prove him wrong. If you believe that honest, real content deserves to be seen, just hit that like button right now. Show him that we support real talk. Assalamu alaikum and welcome. Let us get into this properly. Before we go any further, let me be clear about something. This is not a patriotic speech. This is not an America-bashing session either. What this is a raw, honest breakdown of what life actually costs, what it actually feels like, and what most people completely overlook when they fantasize about living on the other side of the world. Because the fantasy and the reality, they are two very different movies. And here is the loop I want you to keep in your head as we go through this. By the end of this video, I am going to tell you the one category where Malaysia absolutely destroys America, and the one category where America wins so convincingly that it's almost embarrassing. Most people only talk about one side. We are covering both, fair and square. Let us start where everyone starts, money. Specifically, how far your money actually goes. The median household income in Malaysia sits around RM 6,000 to RM 7,000 per month, depending on the state. In the United States, the median household income is roughly USD 5,400 per month, which sounds like a massive jump when you convert it. At current exchange rates, that is about RM 25,000 a month. So on paper, you are looking at nearly 4 times the income. 4 times. That sounds like a no-brainer, right? Pack the bags, call the airline, done. But wait, hold on. Because here's where people get absolutely wrecked. A one-bedroom apartment in Kuala Lumpur, decent area, not fancy, just normal, will cost you somewhere between RM 200 and RM 2,000 per month. In New York City, that same one-bedroom, you are looking at USD 3,200 to USD 4,500. That is RM 15,000 to RM 21,000 per month for one bedroom. And people are sharing those apartments just to survive. Even in a mid-tier American city like Austin, Texas, which used to be affordable, a one-bedroom now runs you $1,600 to $2,200 per month. Still more than double what you would pay in KL for something comparable. So yes, the income is higher, but the rent eats it. The rent eats it fast, and it does not apologize. Now let us talk about food, because this is where Malaysia starts to pull away in a way that feels almost unfair. A full meal at a Malaysian mamak, nasi lemak, teh tarik, maybe a roti canai on the side, you are spending RM 8 to RM 15. That is a full, satisfying, flavorful meal. In the United States, a basic fast food combo, not even a sit-down restaurant, we are talking drive-through, will cost you USD 12 to US 16 easily. That is RM 56 to RM 75. For fast food, not for a proper meal with real flavor and history behind it. For a burger and some fries. If you want a proper sit-down meal at a casual American restaurant, you are looking at USD 20 to USD 40 per person before tip. And in America, tipping is not optional. It is social law. You are adding another 18 to 22% on top of that. So a dinner for two in a normal, nothing special American restaurant, easily USD 80 to USD 100. That is almost RM 500 for one dinner. 2 people. Nothing fancy. Meanwhile, in Malaysia, you can take a family of 4 to a good restaurant, order properly, eat well, drink well, and walk out spending 100 to 150. The food gap between these two countries is not a small difference. It is a completely different economic reality. And this is exactly the part that people who have never lived in America do not understand. The income looks massive on paper, but when you realize that you need to spend USD 800s on rent, USD 400s on groceries, USD 200 on utilities, USD 150 on internet and phone, and another USD 500 minimum on transport. Because in most American cities there is no real public transport and you need a car just to exist, your USD 5,400 income is down to maybe USD 500 of breathing room. And that is before healthcare. We will get to healthcare. That one deserves its own moment. But first, let us talk about something Malaysia gets absolutely right that nobody gives it enough credit for. Transport. The MRT, LRT, and KTM in Kuala Lumpur? A monthly unlimited travel pass costs around 100 to 150, RM 150. You can go from Putrajaya to Bukit Bintang, from Subang to KLCC, without a car, without petrol, without parking fees that steal your soul, for 150 a month. Even Grab, which is the equivalent of Uber, is dramatically cheaper. A 20-minute Grab ride in KL might cost you RM 15 to RM 25. In an American city, a 20-minute Uber, USD 25 to US 45. Easy. And if you do own a car in Malaysia, petrol is subsidized. It is not free, but it's not the gut punch it is in America. Malaysians who have never lived in a country without fuel subsidies genuinely do not realize how much the government is quietly protecting your wallet every single time you fill up. Now, healthcare. This is the big one. This is where America either terrifies you or convinces you that the system is simply broken. In Malaysia, going to a government hospital for a consultation costs you between RM1 and RM15. That is not a typo. RM1. Emergency treatment at a public facility, heavily subsidized. Even private hospitals in Malaysia are affordable by global standards. A specialist consultation at a private KL hospital might run you 150 to around 300. Manageable. In America, if you do not have health insurance, and nearly 26 million Americans do not, a single emergency room visit can cost you USD 3,000 to USD 30,000, depending on what happened to you. A hospital stay that fixes a broken bone might leave you with a USD 50,000 bill. There are Americans who had a heart attack, survived, and spent the next decade paying off the medical debt. People choose not to call an ambulance because the ambulance ride alone can cost USD 1,500 to US 3,000. And even with insurance, the deductibles, the co-pays, the out-of-pocket maximums, it is a system designed to be confusing. The average American family spends over USD 22,000 per year on healthcare costs between premiums and out-of-pocket expenses. That is RM 100,000 a year, just to be allowed to get sick and not go bankrupt. Malaysia does not have a perfect healthcare system. Nobody is saying that. Waiting times at public hospitals can be frustrating. But the idea that illness can financially destroy you, that is not something Malaysians have to carry. That psychological safety is worth more than most people calculate when they are dreaming about American salaries. Let us shift gears now, because America does win in some areas. And this matters. We said fair and square, and we meant it. Career and income ceiling, America wins. Full stop. If you are in technology, medicine, finance, law, or engineering, the earning potential in America is simply in a different bracket. A software engineer at a mid-level company in Kuala Lumpur earns maybe RM 6,000 to RM 12,000 per month. That same software engineer at a tech company in San Francisco? USD 10,000 to USD 20,000 per month. Even after all the expenses, the savings potential, if you are disciplined, is real. World-class universities are in America. Harvard, MIT, Stanford. These institutions open doors globally in a way that no other country has replicated at scale. If you are ambitious, if you have a specific path in mind, the American ecosystem of mentorship, venture capital, and professional networking is genuinely unmatched. Freedom of expression, and this is something you feel differently about depending on where you are in life. America protects speech, protest, and public dissent in ways that are embedded into the legal structure. That has real value. It is not something to dismiss. And the infrastructure of major American cities, the airports, the highways, the scale of things, it is impressive. America is a country built for ambition. Everything is big. Everything is loud. Everything tells you that if you work hard enough, you can have it all. But here is the part they leave out of that story. The loneliness. America is one of the loneliest countries on earth. Study after study shows this. The Surgeon General of the United States actually declared a loneliness epidemic in 2023. People go weeks without meaningful human contact. Neighbors do not know each other. Communities are fragmented. You can live in an apartment building with 200 units and never once have a real conversation with anyone on your floor. And then you think about Malaysia, the kampung spirit, the way a neighbor drops food at your door when you are sick, the way families actually eat together, the way strangers at a mamak will pull up a chair next to you and start talking about football like you have known each other for years. The way Eid, Deepavali, and Chinese New Year are not just calendar dates, but actual communal experiences where the whole country breathes together. You cannot put a price on that, but if you could, it would be expensive. And most people only realize what they had after they have left it behind. Now let us close the loop I opened at the beginning. The one category where Malaysia absolutely destroys America? Quality of life per ringgit spent. When you calculate what you actually get for what you actually spend, the food, the community, the safety, the healthcare accessibility, the warmth of the culture, Malaysia punches so far above its economic weight class that it should not even be a competition. The one category where America wins convincingly, economic ceiling. If your goal is to reach the absolute top of a high-demand profession, to build a global company, or to access world-class academic institutions, the American environment, for all its broken parts, is still the most powerful launchpad on Earth. So, the real question, and this is the one I want you to sit with, is not which country is better. The real question is, what are you actually optimizing for in this season of your life? If you are optimizing for wealth accumulation at the highest level, and you are in a high-demand field, America has a serious argument. If you are optimizing for a life that is full, warm, affordable, meaningful, and sustainable, Malaysia is offering you something that most of the world would trade a lot to have. The truth is, most people who leave Malaysia for America spend their first year excited, their second year quietly calculating, and their third year missing the mamak at 2 a.m. in a way they never expected to miss a food court. And most people who move to Malaysia from America spend their first month confused, their second month delighted, and their third month wondering why they waited so long to figure out that a good life does not have to cost everything you have. Here are your 3 takeaways. 1. Income is not the same as wealth. Check what remains after real expenses before making any life decision based on salary alone. 2. Community is not soft. It is infrastructure. Treat it like one. 3. The best country for you is the one that matches what you are actually building, not what sounds impressive at a dinner party. If this video made you think differently about either country, even slightly, that is the whole point. Drop in the comments, Malaysia or USA, and tell me one thing you think the other country does better. Let us have that conversation properly. Subscribe if you want more honest breakdowns like this one. No fluff, no agenda, just real talk. And share this with someone who is sitting on that decision right now. Because someone in your circle needs to hear this before they make a very expensive choice based on a very incomplete picture. The grass is not always greener. Sometimes it's just a different shade of the same beautiful green.